Understand your learning process. When you understand that process, you can apply that to anything. So the question is quite long. There is a lot of detail here. One thing we understand is this person is a student. Two, they are living in Sweden and are interested in the construction area. They understand that Swedish is a necessity in the construction area. It is debatable, but it is their understanding. Next, they say that since they're studying, they don't really have time to study Swedish as well, as much as they would like to. They are trying to focus on their studies and have good grades. So it is not easy for them to continue both sides at the same pace or same level as they would like to. There is the concept of SFI. SFI, for those of you who don't know anything about Sweden, is expanded as Swedish for immigrants. In English, it is Swedish for immigrants, and in Swedish, it would be Svenska för invandrare. It's basically something that is from the municipality or the government of Sweden that offers the Swedish lessons for free. They are tax funded basically, so they are free for anybody that wants to learn Swedish. So their question is basically on two sides, right? There are two questions. One, how do they manage to learn Swedish when they have this kind of a time issue? The second question is, are there any companies that would consider other than Swedish as a requirement? Like Swedish is not a requirement for those companies. When it comes to the Swedish aspect, I can take myself as an example. It took me about 1.5 years, 1 year maybe, for me to have a basic conversation, and by 2 years I was fairly fluent, and in about 4 years I could fool Swedes into thinking that I was Swedish. Why was I able to do this? Because I broke down my process of learning and I maximized the amount of time I spent on learning the language. So I know from my own personal experience, by introspecting, by looking at myself, that I am a person who learns by listening. I know that this is my process. So for you that is asking this question, or for everybody that is in a similar situation, understand your learning process. Understand how you assimilate information. When you understand that process, you can apply that to anything. Then you maximize it. The way I did it, I spent approximately 3 hours every day. So I was literally doing a part-time course in Swedish, right? Because I was doing 20 hours of Swedish approximately in a week. So if you want to learn a language and make yourself fluent and you only have 1 year, I recommend first analyzing your learning process, implementing that in the most maximizable period of time possible. So intensify your efforts. These two is what's going to help you. Right? And then the second question is, are there companies who would not consider Swedish as a requirement? And I am sorry, I do not have an answer here, because I do not really have much knowledge about the construction or the civil engineering industry. With that said, Sweden is a country where the business language is usually English. The operational language, however, depends on the industry itself. So in the construction industry, I understand that depending on who you're dealing with, if you're dealing with customers, then English might be all right. But if you're dealing with the workers, then perhaps Swedish is the language that is necessary. So there is that as well. And then of course, quite a lot of the documentation tends to be in Swedish. So you will have to then try to see if you can land in a place where you're more client facing, more international client facing perhaps, so on and so forth. That's the advice I can give you. If you're in a position where you really have the only option of working with the workers, then I suggest that you actually work hard on the first question, right? That's where you gain an advantage. So it doesn't matter which country you are in, the local language will come into play if this is the construction industry and you're looking at the worker side of things. So thank you for listening. I hope this answer helped you. And if you have any further questions, you can raise them in the comments, or you can actually go to the forum that I have on my profile. You can raise your questions through there, and I will put an answer out for you through another video. Take care, stay safe. My name is Abhilash once again. Give me a thumbs up or a share or a like or whatever. It helps to know what is useful and what is not working, right? Have a nice day. Stay safe, as I said earlier. Namaste.